Lacking energy can be really debilitating, and at midlife it's no surprise we feel this way as we're being pulled in a million different directions. It's not just a physical impact, a lack of energy can also bring us down emotionally.
We end up reaching for stimulants like coffee, energy drinks, alcohol, sugary food. We might feel grouchy and unable to fully engage in our life and our relationships. Understandably, it feels like a vicious cycle you might never be able to escape from.
But there are changes you can make to reclaim your energy, and in this episode we offer 5 physical and emotional tips to take back control so you can live a happy, healthy, fulfilling life.
Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Midlife Mentors with me, James. And yes, I said edition, not episode. Keep you on your toes, Claire.
Oh, believe me, everyone, he always keeps me on my toes. I never know what he's going to do next. He's a Sagittarius, after all. It's just which arrows are you going to fire next?
Keep life exciting.
Life exciting? Hello, everyone. It's Claire here. So, today we are talking about how to reclaim your energy. But not just physically, also emotionally. So your physical and emotional energy. And we're really excited about doing this one, aren't we?
We are. I guess the reason we're talking about this is obviously if you're following us, you know that we had our epic journey back from our winter in Spain. Mm-hmm. So obviously that was quite draining for us in terms of packing up everywhere, travelling for days by road, then by boat, and then like getting back to our apartment and unpacking and going. So our energy was low, it's safe to say. So we've actually used a lot of these techniques to get up and going. I mean, I was just sitting here this morning. I can't believe we've been back in London actually less than 2 weeks.
I know. Well, yeah, way less than 2 weeks. I think also it is quite emotional going on the other side, because Jane's talking about the physical side there. It is quite an emotional, it's our choice, it's our responsibility. Obviously, we're not... We totally understand that, but the upheaval emotionally of going to a new place, then coming back and trying to settle back into the vibe of everything, it can be a bit unsettling. I mean, we're used to it. We're like the littlest hobos, but we're quite used to it now because we've done it together for 6-7 years. So we've always split our time between it, whether it was Ibiza, Marbella, London, all over the place. But we've used some of these tools for our emotional energy as well as the ones that we're going to talk about physically. Yeah,
I mean, it feels like we've crammed a lot into the time we've been back. I mean,
we always cram in a lot.
We've been so fortunate to have guested on loads of podcasts this week. So this is probably like the 5th one or something we've recorded this week. So we've been on so many, which is fabulous. And we've just been dipping ourselves into London life. Maybe we'll talk about that and around some of the emotional stuff in a minute.
Yeah, but also some of this is from, again, if you're a regular listener, which I hope you are, you might have remembered me talking about last year. For some reason, for about 6 months, my energy was up and down. And I actually went and had all my hormones checked. I wondered whether I was going through like early peri-menopause and all that sort of stuff. And actually what I think it was I'd had a virus, and I think it was post-viral fatigue or something like that. I had my heart checked, my chest x-ray, everything, because I was feeling really, really under the weather. So actually I really dived into this. I was my own guinea pig around doing some of the physical things and the emotional things to bring back my energy, because my energy was zero. I mean, I was getting out of bed, going to the gym if I could, and then coming home and going back to bed. That was basically on and off for about 6 months, as well as obviously running the business and looking after James and Lola.
Yeah, I actually just want to make an important distinction here at the start. So the advice we're going to give you is if you're just feeling like a bit de-energized, a bit low maybe generally in life. Obviously, if you're ill or recovering from some sort of illness, then you need to just accept that and take the time to rest and recover from it. But I think these tips we're going to share with you now, these steps do really help get you back in your groove again and get you moving. So, and I know with everything going on in the world at the moment, I know a lot of people I speak to are feeling like this, kind of like a little bit demotivated,
malaise,
a little bit not sure. Yeah, and malaise is a great
love that word, malaise.
Imagine it like an old style galleon that could plough through the seas, but it's now just, you know, when the sea's all glassy and it's just sitting there with the sails billowing.
And there's a time and a place for that, right? There really is a time and a place for that. But if you're just feeling a bit and a bit flat emotionally, but also energetically, you're just kind of on this roller coaster, up and down, which so many of our clients, when they start with us, actually, they're on this up and down. They don't finish like that. No, because we take them through the midlife method, the 8 weeks. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about in all of our podcasts actually is the stuff that we teach them so that they can reclaim their energy, so that they are able to live a more fulfilling, healthy, happy life. And that's what we want for all of you. And that's why we share all this stuff on the podcast.
Exactly.
So without further ado, let's get going.
Yeah, so we divided it into 2 sections here. We're going to look at our physical energy and then our emotional energy. So first up with the physical energy. So this is when you're feeling kind of like tired in your body. You've got no get up and go, no zest. Maybe you just feel like your mojo slipped a bit.
You're on a roller coaster of that energy like I was talking about. So which is point number 1, you will have a burst of energy, but then you'll fall really flat again. And then, or you might literally wake up in the morning and you are just exhausted. So you reach for a drum roll, James.
Stimulants. So this was us. If you'll go back in time to us, probably mentioned coffee a lot on our podcast and having our coffee. And quite simply realised, Claire actually realised, with her feeling really low energy anyway, and she was drinking more and more coffee just to get through the day. And in the end, she was like, I'm just going to cut it out and see what happens. And initially, I know you found that quite hard.
I think everyone does. I went cold turkey. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but, I actually had headaches and everything for weeks.
Yeah, which then inspired me to do it. And actually, it was actually like seeing the what Claire was going through with withdrawal. I thought, well, that can't be good in terms of what it's doing. So we both now have switched to decaf coffee, which we drink a lot less of as well.
One cup of coffee a day.
But I know people listening out there will be really wedded to their cup of coffee, because I was, to get up and start the day. But here's the thing. When you are using that coffee, and caffeine is a powerful stimulant, when you're using that to get up and go, you don't actually know what your own energy is like, and you're relying on that stimulant. So you know how it goes. You get up, the caffeine's coursing through your veins, the body's shaking. I'm not joking. Not unless you've had that super strong coffee.
Sometimes I do get to myself into that state, though. Sometimes you do.
You do, but the energy buzz is palpable, and then it wears off, so you go for the next coffee. And actually, someone told me this, I don't know if it's true, that...
What's he going to say, people?
Indigenous peoples refer to caffeine as empty fire.
Oh, yes.
Meaning that... it actually gives you energy in the moment, but depletes you over the long term. Yeah,
because it's this roller coaster. And I know, I actually cut it out as well because of all the chemicals that are in the coffee. And you can say, organic coffee is this, that, and the other. And even decaf, it's got chemicals in it. So I really wanted to give my own body a complete overhaul and go back to basics and actually figure out what it was going to feel like without the stimulant, but also without those chemicals in it. So James says we have a decaf coffee. I mean, I literally have half a cup of it without, not even that, and sometimes I don't bother. I've actually, my palate, the taste of my palate has changed as well, and I have to say, I don't like strong coffee anymore. It was like rocket fuel before. My parents, if I ever made them a coffee, would be like, oh my goodness, it's like treacle. It was really, really thick coffee, and I actually don't like that anymore. My body's almost adapted and gone, do you know what, Claire? This is your own energy now. This is your own energy. It feels so good to know what my energy levels are. And I have to say, they are more stable. They continue throughout the day, and I am more energised in the gym in the morning without my coffee now.
Same here. Now, I know, listen, if you're currently drinking a lot of coffee, it might be a lot to ask you to completely cut it out. So just start by cutting it back, consciously cutting it back. If you can cut it out, we're going to forewarn you. You expect a week of less energy and headaches and really struggling. I'm willing to go back to coffee. That's because of caffeine is addictive.
Yeah.
But if you can come through that, you will find that you're more energised. Now, we talked about coffee there. Other stimulants obviously are available.
Which we don't recommend either.
No, but class things like that, you also got your energy drinks and all that kind of stuff. And here's an interesting one. A lot of people actually think of alcohol as a stimulant, although technically it's not.
It's the dopamine hit.
The dopamine hit we get when we drink because we associate it with a good time that makes us think it's bringing us up, but actually chemically it is bringing us down.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, our energy levels, it not only brings you down physically, it brings you down emotionally as well. So if you're really struggling with anxiety, low mood, and again, I'll say this to the cows come home, if you're perimenopausal or menopausal and you are drinking a lot of alcohol, you really, and you're suffering from low mood, anxiousness and all that sort of stuff, you really need to be cutting down on your alcohol because it is exasperating the symptoms like you couldn't even believe.
Exaggerating the symptoms.
Exasperating.
Exaggerating.
Exaggerating.
Exasperating means something else.
Okay, thanks for that dictionary lesson there, Mr.
Dictionary Corner.
I'm going to go and check that out afterwards. Right, and that leads us nicely on, other than me giving James a slap, to number 2, which is actually kind of linked to the alcohol as well, which is cutting out the sugar. So again, our insulin response, if we are constantly feeding ourselves loads and loads of sugar, it spikes our insulin, and then what goes up must come down. So we're on this constant roller coaster of needing. Again, sugar is highly addictive, like caffeine. You're on this roller coaster, feeling like you need the next sugar hit to pick you back up again. But where's the end to that? That is a really difficult cycle to get out of, but a really essential one that you must do.
Yeah, and of course, many of us double whammy that, right? We're having a coffee with a biscuit or a cake or a muffin or whatever. So we're getting the caffeine hit and the sugar hit, and of course, then the crash becomes worse afterwards.
So as our advice in all of our podcasts around nutrition has been, really make sure that you have a really good breakfast. Again, because that will set the insulin bandwidth for the day. So if you're having something really high sugar at the beginning of the day, guess what? For the rest of the day, you're going to come crashing down. You're going to crave it for the rest of the day because you've had it early in the morning. So please put aside those.
I was going to say,
those cornflakes.
I love my Lucky Charms and Frosties mixed with chocolate milk in the morning. What are you on about?
So make sure that you have a really good balanced diet, lots and lots of protein, so you're feeling fuller for longer because it triggers leptin. Make sure that you are cutting down that sugar and you educate yourself around sugar. We're not going to go loads into it now because we've done podcasts on it before. So moving on to number 3.
Move your body.
Move
this
your
is the
body.
thing, and this is a tough one. This is like counterintuitive, right? We're feeling knackered, so we want to just like veg out on the sofa. The last thing we want to do is feel like moving, but actually, when we expend energy, we create more energy in our body. So when we get up and move regularly, our body starts to expect it and starts to like give you the feelings you want from that. Now, here's the interesting thing: like if you're not up for your hard exercise, your HIIT or whatever, that's fine. Do your walk. Go for your like gentle jog. Go for a cycle. Thing is, if you can do something that is intense, that is going to actually get you releasing endorphins, the research shows if you're doing that consistently, then your body will start to release those endorphins regardless of whether you're doing the exercise or not, because it's expecting it. This is how we generate more energy. By actually moving more and expending energy, we'll create more energy in ourselves.
Absolutely. I don't really have much more to say around that.
Good.
Well done. The next one is stay hydrated. So this is a really big one. A lot of the time when I'm feeling tired and lacking in energy, I now know to go and have a big glass of water and then just wait like 10 minutes. And actually, most of the time I do feel like I've picked up some of my energy because, again, we say this a lot. We often confuse hunger with dehydration. And again, you're on that loop, that loop of maybe going for coffee instead. Actually, you're probably dehydrated, or going for the sugar, actually you might be dehydrated. So making sure that you are drinking enough water. It's like 2 to 3 litres of water a day, actually more if you're exercising more frequently. So you're going to feel tired if you haven't got enough fluid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think to add to that, Claire, that's exactly right.
Thank you very much. And
top tip actually. Get a 2 litre. You can get these big 2 litre water bottles now and fill it in the morning and have it with you. If you're not moving around all through the day, because obviously it's heavy, but have it on your desk, have it by your side, and just then you can track. If you've got to halfway through the day and the litres gone, great stuff, keep going. If you're like, oh, I've barely touched it, you need to start drinking it. So it's just a good way to give you a visual representation.
Yeah, actually, inside our app, when we take people through the Midlife Method, that's one of the habits we ask people to start doing. But actually, when we work one-to-one as well, I'll actually schedule in, like 5 times a day, like a little alert on people's phones, they must think, oh, Claire, go away. But it's a really, really good way of actually just reminding yourself. So if you want to, just set up little reminders on your phone as well to go and have that glass of water, because I promise you're going to be feeling tired and lacking in energy if you're not drinking enough water. Number 5 is, this is so important.
Make sure you're breathing properly, which might sound odd, right? Because we all breathe. Luckily, it's an automatic function.
Well done.
Yeah. It's an automatic function. We don't have to consciously think about breathing. But most of us will tend to be, through the day, breathe very shallowly and from the upper chest. So if you can, spend just a few minutes each day doing some deep breathing, really taking the breath down into the belly area, feeling your belly expand and go back down, expand and go back down. And just make sure you're fully oxygenating your system. Because again, if we're not getting enough oxygen into our blood, we can feel fatigued and tired. So oxygenate, this is like one of the reasons why we yawn. Yawning is an attempt to get more oxygen into the system.
Oh, is that why you yawn at me all the time? Yeah. Or is that just because I'm boring?
My mind actually works at such a high level that requires a higher fuel level of oxygen to function,
I just thought it was that you've got marital boredom is what I thought. No, but actually, anyone again that's listening to this, I love the Wim Hof method. I really do. And one of my really good friends, Shelley, she's doing some breathwork sessions with me at the moment. She's amazing, and it's really, really interesting, like how energized and vibrant you feel after doing the Wim Hof method or breath work. Your body just feels zingy and alive, and it's really, really incredible, like how much we breathe from our upper chest, like it's really, really shallow breathing. And also you'll find that you aren't able to concentrate as well. You get that brain fog because you're not oxygenating the blood enough and it's not going to the brain. So again, it helps you concentrate if you're breathing properly and gives you loads more energy. You're going to try and say something funny now.
I wasn't actually. I was saying that those are our physical tips. His
little lips on the side twitch when he's trying to think of something funny to say. I know you can't see them, but if you could, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, emotional energy. Right, this is one of my faves. The first one, we're going to do 5 tips each. Okay, so how do you reclaim your emotional energy? Well, I was talking to I was doing a coaching call yesterday with one of my clients, and what happens a lot of the time, we lose our energy and vitality when we are focusing on what's wrong in our life or in the world. And I'm not saying, don't look at what's going on in the world. Be informed, that's fine. But what I'm talking about really is when you focus on what's going wrong in your life, the worry, the over-catastrophizing, the what-ifs, not being happy at work, all these sorts of things, that becomes more. What we give our energy to gives more and creates more of it. So where we focus our intention grows. So what we want, and it drains us, if we're constantly in that place of looking at what's wrong and worrying and over catastrophizing and feeling really low about it, of course you're going to lack energy. So what you want to do is actually start to consciously switch your attention to what is good in your life. And this is called gratitude. So again, it seems really simple, but you've got to train yourself. It's your responsibility, right? No one can do this stuff for you. These mental reps, no one can do them for you. But if you want to feel better, you have to start turning your attention to what makes you feel good rather than what makes you feel bad, so you can reclaim your energy. So switching your focus. Start writing about what's good in your world. What are you grateful for? What are your finances? Anything to just switch your mood from being over here focusing on the energy zapping vampire stuff. Switch it. So that's my number one tip really, is to start to practice gratitude and look for the things that are going well in your life, because it will give you more energy.
Exactly that. What you focus on, you get more of. So make sure you're focusing on the positive things in your life.
And you'll get more of it.
And this is linked to point number 2, which is watch what you are feeding yourself. Not food, but what you're feeding yourself mentally. Like, what are you allowing in? Are you getting drawn in and absorbed into the news? Are you getting into the scroll hole? Are you getting caught up, even worse, in a drama, commenting backwards and forwards with a stranger on the internet about something?
Keyboard warriors.
It's easy to do, but just stop. If you find yourself doing it, stop. Go, is this actually serving me and my higher purpose and my goals and my energy? Is this how I want to spend my time? So just watch what you're feeding yourself. We say this on all our podcasts, clean your feed. You can snooze people, you can unfollow people. Do spend time doing it. If you're seeing stuff from certain people that is triggering you regularly, instead of getting drawn into it, just unfollow. Make your feed positive and exciting for yourself.
Yeah, and that also kind of goes on to Jane saying about scrolling. One of the things we were saying on a podcast that we were interviewed on a couple of days ago was about getting stuck in that scroll hole and comparing yourself. What an energy drainer that is. Comparing your life to other people's
Who are lying anyway.
Who are lying anyway, their highlight reels. And, this is where it comes into point number 3. Stay in your own lane and have your own goals. When we don't have a focus for our life and a purpose and a passion for our life and have clear goals that are aligned with who we want to be and what we want to have, if we don't have those, we start to feel demotivated, lethargic, a sense of malaise. There's that word again. That's why it's really, really important to have these goals. It's okay to rest. Of course it is, a time and a place as well to rest. But there is so much power in having an understanding of who you want to be and where you want to go and the legacy you want to leave here. That gives you so much energy. Like when you're bored of life and you just feel like you're on Groundhog Day, you end up feeling very, very low on energy. So that's one of the main things to reclaim your energy is to have a goal, have a purpose, and have a focus.
Exactly that. Also, make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people. And this can mean virtually or in real life, right? So again, just become aware. The people you hang out with, again, online or in real life, like what are they saying? What's preoccupying them? Are you getting drawn into dramas that really aren't serving you? I'm not saying get rid of your friend group, but just be a little bit more selective with your time. Lay down clear boundaries about how you want to spend your time and the kind of things you want to be doing with it, and the mental activity you're putting into those interactions with people. Because if you get stuck around with a bunch of negative Nancys, guess what? You're going to become a negative Nancy. If you're with positive Pauls, you become more positive.
Well, they're energy vampires, aren't they? So literally, if you are finding that you are lacking in energy, find people that pick you up, build you up, inspire you, make you want to be like a better person. And yeah, it's really, really powerful. Those people, your tribe, will either bring you down or lift you up. So be really, really careful about that. And the final one
is my favourite one, this one, the final point.
Find things, the small things in your day that bring you joy, right? So not the things that you have to do and should do, but just something that you want to do that brings you joy. And it doesn't have to be for anyone. It's purely for you. It doesn't have to be for anyone else. It doesn't have to be for any other purpose other than it brings you joy. Like me baking the other day. I haven't baked for 7 years.
I know, you baked some delicious brownies.
Listen, team, I haven't baked for 7 years. And for the first time, I'm really, really understanding that so much of our life is about the business. Because we love it and it's our passion and it's our goal and it does bring us energy. But on the flip side of that, when it's not balanced out with things that bring me joy purely for that little inner child, think about what you used to love when you were younger and go and do some of those things that's going to bring you so much energy.
I know. The funny thing of that, so this is doing it just purely for the joy of doing it, right? So Claire baked these brownies from scratch, and of course, us being us, we kept back one each, and then she went around giving them out to all the neighbours.
Yeah, and I loved it. And honestly, my little inner child, I was tapping into that for no other reason that's what my inner child wanted to do. And it was just exciting, and it was fun, and it took me out of myself and not thinking about work or anything else that's going on in our life. And then I've been dancing. I've started a dance class. I did that.
We went to Tai Chi.
Yes.
So we're just trying loads of new things, right? It's like, do we like Tai Chi? We don't know. We haven't tried it. Let's
James
go try it.
James is like a little ninja. He loved it. He loved it.
So yeah, get out there, try new things, find what lights you up, and just do more of what lights you up.
Not because you think you should, but because you want to. And that, dear friends, is it.
Yeah, I hope you found that useful.
5 and 5.
As always, please do, if you loved it, give us a lovely review. Share, tell your friends. Reach out to us, team@themidlifementors.com. Follow us on Instagram, Midlife Mentors. Find our free Facebook community, the Midlife Mentors community, where we hang out posting loads of tips and chat to people and maybe even drop brownie recipes. You never know.
And also reach out to us and let us know what you want to know about. What's some of the challenges, some of the stuff that's going on in your life. I promise we won't mention your name, but if there's something that you're burning to understand a little bit more around the science of midlife, hormone, whatever, just let us know. We would love to do a podcast on it because we want to serve you at the highest level and give you what you need. And that is it. We are signing out.
Sending
lots of love.
Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.